Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Inside the Foul podcast brings you episode 35 with the opinions and perspectives of a couple best friends. And if you don't like that call, we've got three words for you. Get out of here. We are your hosts, bringing you a special second week episode covering postseason. Chris and Ethan.
So, I'm kind of looking forward to this episode, but after watching the Yankees win,
Hey,
I don't
hey,
know if I'm
hey.
ready to I don't know if I'm ready to hear about the Yankees being in the postseason winning, why my team is doing what I'm doing, sitting at home.
But you know what? You know what? Here's the best part, okay, about you getting to sit at home. Okay. You at least got to watch the postseason games that I didn't while I was at work. So, the
Oh,
couch
no,
has its perks.
it does. I just wish my Braves were in the postseason.
Mm, maybe next year.
There's a hope and a dream right there. Okay, we'll be
You,
healthy. You know.
y'all need a new athletic staff, like health staff. Maybe y'all
I
should
really
do
think
like
we're
the Mets did today, and fire them and rehire some new people.
Well, the thing is, before we get into the recap, I'm gonna tip my hat. Our coach retired. You
Yeah.
know, it's, I think we're gonna bring in some fresh blood and fire up the team. Hopefully, it's Mark DeRosa, Team USA's coach. Yeah.
Well, you're not the only one getting a new manager soon, too. I know we
Yeah.
briefly talked about Ron Washington and his health concerns have finally, unfortunately, required him to step away from the game. So, you know,
Yeah.
the Angels are eyeing Albert Pujols now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say this with all love about Albert Pujols. Just because you were a great player, don't mean you're gonna be a great coach. Look at David Ross. Just
I
saying.
mean, I understand, but
So
there's always that chance.
that is true. That is true. You know, maybe he can keep Trout healthy. Maybe. There's a hope. Well, I was
Hey,
gonna say
maybe he knows something.
Texas doesn't have a coach now. Bruce Bochy, parted ways.
Yeah.
The Giants fired their coach. So, do we see a return of Bruce Bochy to San Fran?
Mm, maybe. I mean, listen, if the Yankees would have lost last night, New York would have been looking for a new manager.
Okay. All right. All right. Now that you brought up said subject, okay, I'm gonna throw in a what if question.
Okay.
What if y'all did lose? Is it on Boone or is it on the analytics?
Last night, because of the way the Yankees did finally get to the young rookie pitcher as soon as they did, um, I feel like that would have been on Boone because that would have been a mismanagement had we lost that game last night.
All I hear is keep Jazz and Ben Rice in the lineup. That's all I hear right there. That's
My
all
thing
I
is,
hear.
why did we take Ben Rice out of the lineup in the first game in the first place? Bro was on an 8-game hitting streak.
Yeah, but the problem is you paid all that money. Okay, hear me out. You paid all that money to Goldie.
I
Problem
mean,
is
it's really not that much. I think he's only making like maybe 18 or 20 this year.
still more than Ben Rice.
I mean, Ben Rice is a rookie.
I'm just saying. But the problem is maybe they thought Goldsmith playoff experience could shine. Ben Rice, hostile game, even though you weren't in a hostile environment. You never know. I don't know. Listen,
I mean, it's
some of the moves y'all
possible.
made this postseason, I question going into round two. Okay,
I
but
hope
we'll
we
touch on
learn
round two in a
from
little bit.
I would hope we learned from the final 2 games on all that because, there was a lot to learn after the first game.
Yeah.
So, I think the only team that didn't go to all 3 games, unfortunately, was the Dodgers. We kinda all saw that coming. The Reds are competitive, but they're not Dodger level competitive yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, I tip my hat to the Reds because you scored a total of 9 runs almost against the Dodgers. I mean, the
Yeah.
little team that was, you know. Most of it was against the bullpen, but you also, I hate to say it, the Reds helped the whole NL and showed that the Dodgers bullpen will not help them in the postseason if it comes down to it.
No. No, I mean, that's the thing, you're just going to get to their starters early enough to get the bullpen in.
Yeah.
You
And
can't let the starter have longevity in the game against the Dodgers.
so I I will say the Dodgers bats were there. Pitching,
I mean,
questionable, but you
I
only burned 2 starters.
yeah, exactly. You only had to run 2 guys and you got a rest day out of it. Technically, you got
Yeah.
2 rest days out of it because you didn't play yesterday and you don't play today.
Yeah.
Even though one's a travel day, it's still technically a rest day because 'cause you're not playing any ball.
Yeah, it's I feel like that series it helped the Dodgers because it kept them warmed, but you also didn't learn anything. Not to bash the Reds, but you didn't really challenge them to the bullpen. Where if you would have made the Dodgers waste a little more players, I feel like it would have. Let's see.
So, here's my
All right.
question though with Detroit, okay? Detroit went down all those games at the end of the season, right? To let Cleveland win the division, just to
Yes.
knock them out in 3 games in the wild cards. Is that
Yes.
a trolling moment or is that just a, "Hey, we figured out where we messed up"?
Um. So, as much as I want to call it a troll, I think they finally figured out what their issue was. They were
I can
putting the
pick
ball in play. So, I mean, it's kind of a troll because you basically gave away your home field advantage for what?
yeah,
Because here's the thing, say they get past Seattle, they would have home field advantage against you or only you. Okay, let's be real.
yeah. We're
So,
the only people that would really stop them from that.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting, you know.
Yeah,
I think they just finally got it together. Like I watched those games and I'm going to be honest. No one touched Scooble. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, the man pitched 117 pitches and was lights out and said, "Hey, bullpen, just sit down. I'll tell you when I'm ready to come out the game." You know. So because I don't think if he goes all 8 innings, I don't think they win the series because I think the bullpen starts struggling. So
I don't couldn't even tell you who's in their bullpen to be honest with you.
Sam, Sam,
So I
um,
agree with you there. I don't know how strong that bullpen would be to actually be able to compete.
yeah. Well, we just got some news. If we want to
Oh,
jump to Seattle, since we're talking about Detroit, Seattle has announced their first 2 pitchers.
okay. Who?
So game 1 is George Kirby, game 2 is Luis Castillo.
Okay, okay. I kind of figured Castillo would have gone first, but that's not bad. I don't mind those 2.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like not to go on the Chris bracket though, but having these 2 pitchers rested, bats fully charged, I feel very good about going into my my picks next week. You know,
Yeah, I don't know that Seattle's necessarily seen pitching at the caliber of Skubal, but once you get past Skubal, who in that rotation is really that scary?
nobody. I mean, let's be honest. Jack Flaherty didn't look good. The other pitcher, I don't even know who it was, didn't look good. No,
So I
hold
mean,
on.
I can't see that being a positive outcome for those games or positive games in general.
Yeah, because Kyle Finnegan got the win for that game. Let me pull up that game and see who that actually was.
Let me see.
If I can pull it up. Let's see.
Yesterday's game, right?
Uh, game 2. It said, yeah, game 3. It was Kyle Finnegan that got the win, but I don't know who pitched before that.
2 seconds. I get the box. Oh no, it was Finnegan. Finnegan got the win. Finnegan pitched. Hold on.
So, the bats were there. I love their lineup. They didn't pull a Yankee and switch a bunch of things. They kept their starting 9 in, ran it back every game. They switched one
Flaherty
person.
Flaherty pitched 4 2/3. Finnegan pitched 1 1/3. 1 1/3. Holton pitched one. Canley pitched a third. Vest pitched 1 2/3. So
Gotcha.
they used
Okay.
a little bit of a bullpen game, but only allowed Flaherty to pitch for 4 2/3 inning.
Yeah, so Flaherty could go game 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I feel like Seattle's just gonna run away with that.
I could see that, and
At
very,
most, I say
very
5
easily.
games. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
if it comes down
I
to
don't know
it.
that it goes to 5. I think it'll go to 4 and be decided in the 4th game.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Another game that I think will be decided in similar fashion will be Philadelphia against the Dodgers. I think the Phillies come out and whoops them behind.
I hope so. Listen, to our Dodgers listener out there,
And
I'm
just
gonna
just
go in.
because he had to troll us extra hard today.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you got 99 problems, but Bryce Harper's gonna be one of them. Okay?
I think Kyle Schwarber is going to be one of them too. So you might have 98 problems.
Yeah, yeah. You might have 98 problems, and those two are gonna go yard because you're going to Philadelphia. Okay, the one place that I would never go watch a game is Philadelphia. That's a hostile environment. They could be nice, sweet people. I don't know, but something about the sea of red, something about, I don't know, the
Something about
brotherly love is.
Philadelphia breeds some Karens too.
Yeah, and I don't feel like there's going to be any brotherly love there towards the Dodgers. You know,
I'd rather go to Chicago than go to Philadelphia.
I don't know. I don't know. The Wrigley Field people, those people be chugging beer snakes all day. I don't know.
But
You
they look
know.
like they're all having fun. They don't look like they're ready to fight nobody.
Well, I was going to say we do have game 1 pitchers for the Philadelphia Los Angeles game. So the Dodgers are throwing out Otani, okay,
And I hope he gets lit
versus
up.
versus Christopher Sanchez. Okay.
Who?
Christopher Sanchez. Let's see.
What's his
See here.
ERA? Like, I don't know much about him.
So Christopher Sanchez was 6-0 this season.
Huh?
He is a lefty, 6'6", 200 pounds, ERA but 194 at home, and Ks at home 115 Ks. He's 6-0 at home this year.
Okay.
Games pitched. Let's see. Yeah, it's listen. I This is the man that could, hate to say it, they might struggle with this man.
Especially because Otani is a great pitcher, but he's normally good for some solid contact.
Yeah.
Otani's not known for ground balls.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last one of this pitch Christopher's wins were against the Dodgers, won 9-6, 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, uh 6 strikeouts.
That's
So
not bad.
he's got experience against the Dodgers, and that was in LA. So you're probably gonna get a better version of him at home. So
Right.
I don't, I just feel like I hate to root for the Phillies because they're in my division, but I feel like they just did a interleague matchup game 2 days ago, and they had 31,000 people there for an inter-squad game, okay? They were rowdy, okay? They had pyro for the bullpen guys coming in, okay? Something about it.
Maybe the Phillies finally figured out that it's, now or never, like you said.
Yeah, you
So
know.
I'm really I'm really interested in the Milwaukee game. Milwaukee and
Let's
the
go
Cubs.
Cubbies. Cubbies.
Uh, don't get me
Cubs
wrong.
Nation.
Don't get me wrong. The Cubs played some really good baseball against the Padres, and they look good. I'm just really hoping because I'm selfish and I want to see Milwaukee versus the Yankees, but
See,
there's a lot of
what would
baseball
be
still to be played.
listen, if I can't get Cubs Seattle, Cubs Yankees, 2 history programs coming
But you
at
know
you.
what? That World Series, Chris, and I know it wouldn't happen, but I feel like Cubs Yankees World Series should be played at the Field of Dreams.
I feel like it should be played. I feel like you're gonna need a bigger stadium. I say
I know
let's
you
just
need a
build
bigger
polo
stadium.
grounds. I say we build polo grounds and, bring it back for the glory.
Could you
Well, I was
imagine
gonna
playing
say
in Polo Grounds today? Like, Chris, that would be kind of fun.
it'd be Nuke Central. It wouldn't be no fun for pitchers. Fly ball, 50 yards, home run. Speaking of the Milwaukee series, we only have Milwaukee's starting pitcher, Freddie Peralta. Okay. Cubs are
Right.
undecided, You know? I mean, I
I
hate to say
will
it, they
say
just need
what
the Leafs.
I'll tell you what the Cubs need to do is pitch Tyone more often.
Yeah?
Like, I feel like Tyone might be their best pitcher out of their rotation.
Really?
I do. After watching him pitch this past series, he's solid.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just gonna say it. Swanson. Swanson won them those games. Okay.
Dude, Swanson is if you make it all the way, he is your postseason MVP. I
The man's a
mean, what
stud.
game 3 he had 4, what is it, 4 hits taken away due to defensive plays.
Yes. And some of those two I would say 2 out of those 4 score a run.
2 of them alone he didn't even come up with. Like, did not glove cleanly and still made the play.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you just don't teach that at shortstop because I mean, I would
You
love a
can't.
shortstop like that, and I
You can't
can't
teach.
get that.
No, no, no. Well, since we're on that wonderful Yankee subject, Kevin Gossman versus undecided. Is it going to be Max Fried?
So, I wanna say yes, but I could see them pulling some boneheaded mess and pitching, Luis Heel the first game, and the only reason I say this is because Fried would be on 4 days of rest. Now, I feel like if Fried's okay with it, you pitch him because he's still one of your best pitchers, but you don't have anybody else you can pitch on that short of rest. So, it's either Fried or you go to Heel and risk it with Heel.
The problem is, I hate to say it, This isn't Boston where you're gonna get a rookie pitcher. You're gonna have Gossman, Baskett, Scherzer, 3 people that have been in the postseason, and a lineup that I hate to say it, is a lot more hungrier than your team.
Yes and no. And the reason I want to argue this, and not really argue, but kind of give my perspective, is more so the fact that the Yankees after game 2, okay, in game 2, we saw a very close w- offensive defensive game. Really impressive. I enjoyed that game thoroughly. And then to see that, Jazz scoring on a base hit, like, we need that in the lineup, but then to see game 3, you see the pitcher come out and just dominate, and the offense is actually able to do something and create these pressure situations. If the team can fight and show that they're just as hungry, I feel like we have a chance at a good game. The problem is we've seen during the regular season Yankees lack of, I don't know how you lack of urgency, I would say, but I think the postseason is bringing a little more of a challenge there to that and saying, "Hey, you're either here or you're gone," because I'm seeing a different shift in the way the team plays this postseason compared to last postseason.
Yeah, but here's why I say this. You can't come out and struggle against Toronto because unfortunately, they've been resting and scrimmaging, and I think it would be not that they're let me figure out how to word this. I don't think they're more hungry than Boston, but they have a lot more fight in them than Boston did. You can tell Boston's young studs were running out of energy. Where Vlad, Bo Bichette, Kirk, Springer, hate to say it, those guys want a ring, you know? And you're going in Toronto. You're not in your little comfortable of your, wonderful palace of, the glory of Yankee Stadium. You're going to a hostile environment where you're not going to have the home crowd of blocking people from Boston buying tickets. Canada might be nice, but they're not going to be nice to your Yankees, okay? Just saying.
Without a doubt, I don't expect this to be an easy game at all.
And if you take Jazz out of the lineup, that's your first mistake because Jazz can't come in, last inning and go, "Oh, I'm going to pitch hit."
Well, here's the thing with the 3 pitchers that you listed for Toronto, 3 of them are righties, which means that you can leave Jazz and Rice in the lineup as long as the 3 that you listed are the 3 that they choose for the first 3 games. And our lefties, I'm not even going to lie to you, are much better righty hitters at
Yes.
home. Whether or
Yes.
not that can translate into Toronto, I don't. I think their fence is like 20 feet further than ours. Whoop de doo. I mean, our guys hit
It's
it there all the
indoors
time.
though. Indoors
And
though.
yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on if it'll be open or not. It might be. Don't they have the
Listen, I've
retractable dome?
nope, nope,
Oh,
nope.
okay.
No retractable. Close it. Turn the AC on. Play some small ball. Crank it up to high and say, "All right, Judge, put the ball in play." Or you know what the real question is? What's gonna cost you? Is it gonna be your bats or let's just target Judge because he can't hit over 73 miles per hour with a throw?
I really think Judge needs to go to DH.
But then
I
you're gonna have
think
to
you
put Jazz in left. I meant right. Okay.
Yeah.
Second, you're gonna have to put
Caballero. No, you put
Caballero.
Caballero at third. You put um. Well, no, you could put Caballero at second and put McMahon at third, and then you
Yep.
still have a decent amount of lefties with a decent speed. The only thing I would question is, would they want Goldschmidt in the lineup bad enough to limit Rice, or do you put Rice at left and let Wells catch?
Mm, I'm gonna say Wells ain't hit the ball. So I'm gonna say, Wells, you want to play hit the ball. Put
I
Rice at
mean,
first.
Wells did have a couple good hits in the third game, so he's not doing bad. But you also, it's a catcher, and not everybody is Mister
Cal Riley?
Cal
Got
Raleigh,
it.
who
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, not every catcher's Cal Raleigh. I'm sorry, can't just effortlessly get pitched to all the time because you have somebody behind you.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Listen, listen. But
Listen, that
here's
was
the
the
thing.
excuse for Soto and everything last year. Come on now.
Listen, Soto's sitting at home, so it's okay. You know,
Thanks to the
the Mets are
Marlins.
gonna met it up. You know, but out of this though, my one worry is y'all's bullpen.
I agree.
One day you get a good bullpen, next day you get a shaky bullpen. The next day, the bullpen that were shaky were great. It's
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know that I think that we lost the first game because of poor managerial decisions.
I don't even
I
think it's
can't
that.
say we got beat the first game because you gotta think Freed was pitching a a shutout game in the 7th with 1 runner on when they pulled him, okay? Then the
Yes,
walk by Weaver, they pull him, then you get a walk by the next pitcher and the bases are loaded. So again, that's not all on Freed. That was poor managerial decisions. Because I don't think if you don't take Freed out and you give him the opportunity to argue the way Rodon did the second game, I don't think that you lose and give up those runs in the 7th, costing you the first game. And I don't think we end up just squeaking by the Red Sox.
so here's the way I look at that. From I'll put myself in Boone's shoes. I know to win a World Series, Fried has to pitch 6 more games.
Yeah.
Question is, do I want to burn him now or burn him when it matters the most? Because here's the thing. Say Toronto goes to game 5, okay? I'm going to throw out a big what if and you're going to understand my point of I hate to agree with Boone. But say Toronto game goes to game 5. Say you need Fried to come out of the bullpen to win you the game. Unfortunately, you burn him round 1, a little tired round 2. Say you have to burn him from the bullpen for round 2, then you need him for round 3. Say you're up against Seattle, you really need to ride the Max Fried train twice in that series. You know,
Yeah.
because and then in the World Series, say you're up against the Dodgers, you're gonna have to ride the Max Fried train twice there. So I'd rather pull him, save him, knowing, hey, you might have to pitch twice in round 2. You might have to go round 1, and oh crap, game 4 for us to stay in it, we're gonna have to pitch Fried. You know,
Yeah.
because the way I look at it is, Schittler did great game 3. But what is Schittler gonna do in a hostile environment, not at home?
Do you really? So here's my question. Okay, here's something that I found out last night. Okay, Cam Schlittler grew up in Boston. Okay,
Yeah, and his
what?
dad's a cop in Boston.
Right. So, okay,
I'm banning him from the whole state of Massachusetts if I'm the governor. Okay, just saying.
but my thing is what if he goes to Toronto and just feeds off of that? Because let's be honest, if you've ever watched a Yankees Red Sox game, those fans feed off of that energy of teams up, teams down, here comes a rally, like the whole everybody's in it. So what if he feeds off of that and pitches like he did this time around?
So I don't disagree with you. My only counterpoint is, regular season, you have to sell tickets to the other team. In playoffs, you kind of control that, where, let's be real, there wasn't a lot of Red Sox fans there. Not enough to
Yeah.
make it a noise. Where Toronto could do the same thing y'all did to Boston,
Yeah.
you know? So that's my only disagreement there is he could, but then you gotta think, there's no home crowd if he has to pitch in say he has to pitch in Toronto.
Right.
I hate to
I mean,
say
that's
it,
fair.
that's a loud indoor stadium where it's gonna echo and it's just gonna keep coming at you.
Yeah, because the question is, okay, and you brought up a good point. If they play and it being a 5-game series, after the first 3, don't they go, or is it 2
So
2 in
after it's
Toronto, 2 in New York, and then 2, or the last one in
what's one
Toronto?
inter yeah, so it's 2-2-1.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So but the problem is
If the Yankees can get 1 in Toronto and then take the 2 at home, that's the series.
yeah, but I
And you save Schlittler for home. You pitch either Fried or Gill in first game and second game. Third game, you pitch Rodon. Fourth game, you pitch Schlittler.
yeah, but what if the rookie finally becomes a rookie and the pressure gets to him?
Then you go to game 5 with a decisive winner take all
Yeah, but the problem is
again.
there's only so many winner go home games that you can you can ride that wave because eventually the momentum
Well, I mean,
and
okay, here's something else, and I love my storylines, but the Yankees are the first team since we started the 3-game wild card set to lose the first game, win the last 2, and win the wild card round.
yes, you were.
Historically, the first team to lose, and we saw it again with the rest of these games. First team to lose didn't win.
Agreed, but here's the problem though. Now we're adding more games, but you're also the first team to ever choke a series of game 7. You
Yes,
were so it's not always way to be great first because here's the thing. How much energy is still left in that tank now?
I would
Because
hope
your
that there's a
boys
good bit because if you think about it, Chris, you said it yourself. The Yankees don't need the bye. And the reason the Yankees don't need the bye is they need to keep the bats on the field. Okay.
yes. Well,
So they've done that and they've stayed offensive and the pitching's kept them in the games.
yes. But let's be honest. Y'all need to refill Stanton's tank
Uh,
because
uh, he needs some
yeah,
spectacles because he didn't see where that ball was going.
I meant, out of the 30 MLB stadiums, 15 of those it's a home run, 15 it's not.
Okay, fair. At the same
But
time, okay,
but the
that's
problem
home
is
field.
in the postseason though, you can't have make mistakes like that because what if he did get thrown out? You know?
And he got lucky. So lucky.
Yeah. So I will say the Toronto game isn't going to be a pushover because how much energy is going to come out because you got to think you're traveling. Let's see. What time do y'all play as we're
Saturday,
recording this
tomorrow.
Friday? Go to schedule. Because I know Milwaukee and Chicago is the 2 o'clock game. Y'all are the 4 p.m. game. Okay.
Ooh, gross.
Yep.
Gross. Why do we
Yeah. Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. The Phillies are 6:30, and then
And the
Seattle's
Dodgers.
8:30.
I need the Dodgers to lose.
Because then you play again Saturday. I meant Sunday. So the real question is how much is your pitching going to come out? Because let's be honest, your best pitcher, you didn't even win the game. You know,
That's because he couldn't get run support. And honestly, you
true.
pulled him before he should have.
Yeah. And the only reason, I as we're recording this, I wish I knew the starter so I could go more depth. Because to be honest, the only matchups we know starter wise is Otani and Sanchez. Um,
I'm ready to see Mizorowski pitch because I think he'll end up in the rotation at some point for
I
the
feel like he's
Brewers
gonna go
games.
game 2.
2 or
I feel like
3.
game 2. I feel like game 2 because you're gonna wanna pitch him at home.
You know what? I need the Brewers to do one thing, okay, if they want to succeed. Do not pitch Nestor Cortez in the postseason. Coming from a Yankees fan who was hurt by Nestor Cortez last year. If Nestor Cortez doesn't come out, Freeman doesn't hit that home run. I put money on it. If I could go back in time and change that, if Nestor Cortez doesn't go out there, that whole series looks different. But you decided to go lefty lefty against Max Fried, or not Max Fried, against Freddie Freeman and got beat.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Um, let's let's jump over back to Philadelphia really quick. How do you feel about Otani going to the outfield if he gets pulled?
Who does he replace? That's the question. So here's my thing. Okay. You've got Pages out there. You've got um what's his name? Hernandez in the outfield. And who's their third outfielder? I know it's normally
So hold on,
um
I'm pulling up the box score from the last game against the Reds. So it was Dodgers hitter. It was right field was Hernandez. Page was center field, right field, and then other Hernandez was left field, and then they put in
so
Call for left field,
okay. So what
and
if
they put Dean in.
they double switch it to where they bring Otani from see, but you lose when they say lose the DH, right?
Hmm.
You lose the DH all together and now your pitcher has to hit, or like
Yes.
so
If
you
I,
revert back to so now you'd have to burn your bench every
but
time your
I don't think
DH
that
spot
counts.
comes up.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think that counts unless he comes out of the bullpen. So if he's
Okay,
the starting
so
pitcher, he stays. So yeah,
then you
but if he
double
has to
switch.
go
You
to
just
right
take
field,
Otani, send him to right field, take the right fielder, put him at DH. Done day.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
Well,
is the
no. That
simplest thing.
he would only go to right field if he came out of the bullpen. But apparently Clayton Kershaw is going to come out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that's good for Kershaw because you still get the starter arm without burning him in his retirement season.
Yeah. So I, just, you know, so I know we've done our bracket, but do you think because we both picked Cleveland, do you think Detroit and Seattle goes 5 games?
No, no. One of
No.
those teams is going to decide it for here easily. If not, Seattle's going to come out balls to the wall and sweep it. But I don't think the likelihood of that is very high because Seattle's also been on a rest day, and we don't know how Seattle's going to do coming off of the bye. The bye for 4 teams that get the bye, half of them are going to have a bad first game at least, if not detrimental to their series.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to help some of the teams just because, your pitchers are getting an extra day of rest, cuz I will say Freddie Peralta, he's no young guy, you know, hate to say it, Luis Castillo, not a young guy. Those guys could use a couple more days.
I agree 100%.
So, it's going to be
I'll
I feel
actually get
bad
to
for
watch the Saturday, Sunday games. So, because I didn't get to watch any of the Guardians games this week, and I only got to catch like the back end of the Cubs games, but I got to watch the primetime games because of work. But like,
yeah,
I'll actually get to watch the Saturday, Sunday games this week.
I feel bad for Milwaukee cuz you're playing a very hot Cubs team right now. They have the momentum behind them
Yeah.
where if I was the Cubs, I would want to play right now.
Yep.
You know,
I'd
you've
want to
got
play
the
tomorrow.
wave. Yeah, you've got the energy. You took out probably one of the most scariest teams in the NL.
Yep.
because, if the Padres are on, they're on. They're scary, so
I think it really doesn't come down to too many game fives. We'll probably see one series go to game five. The rest will be decided within three or four.
yeah, I think if any of them go to game 5, I feel like it's Dodgers-Phillies.
You think so? I would think it might even be the Cubs Milwaukee or the Cubs Brewers. I think that could go because they're used to seeing each other. So I could see that series going to a 5-game set.
You could say the same thing about Toronto and the
Yeah,
Yankees.
yeah. But I don't. The reason I don't see that. Yes, they're familiar with one another. Toronto's had realistically, and this sucks to say out loud. Toronto's had our number all year, and I'm gonna make it really hard on you to edit this episode because you made me say it.
Just saying, just saying, just
You made me
saying.
admit it, so you have to edit all that out, okay?
Listen, listen, listen. This is what's gonna happen to the Yankees. Yep. Okay? Just
I
saying.
hope it
You know?
doesn't because I mean, what I saw in the last 2 games in Boston or for New York against Boston gave me a little bit of hope going into Toronto series. Um, and I really hope that maybe they can do like I did in the fantasy football league this year and get beat by one team all year long and beat them when it counts and win the championship.
Listen, that's a fluke. Okay? That's a fluke. I don't know. Something about I know I've said it all year, but something about Toronto
Not
feels
the Mod
different.
Podge. Not the Mod Podge. Send the
Listen,
Mod Podge home.
I'm
No.
just saying,
You
if
you've
something
been
feels
you've been
different
eating the
about them,
glue again. You've been eating the glue
listen,
again.
I tried to warn you at the very beginning of this podcast, 35 episodes earlier, when we were uh, hashing out episode 1. I said something about Toronto. I said they have a manager that they can get behind. You know, they've got the veterans that I hate to say it. It's hard not to root for Vlad, Bo Bichette, Church Springer, and one of my top 5 catchers. I did say it. Kirk was going to be phenomenal this year. Okay. When people laughed at me that I said Kirk is going to be phenomenal, and little Kirky we believe in. Okay. Just saying,
No.
you know. Oh, breaking news. Since we are talking about Toronto, breaking news. Luis Gil is your starting pitcher for the New
Told
York
you.
Yankees.
Told you.
Mm,
Yep.
mm,
They weren't gonna make
okay.
Fried pitch on short rest. They were gonna put out Gill. This game, this is either the so here's how you'll know if the Yankees come back to win. If Gill shows up and pitches like someone who's lit a fire under his behind, then yes, there's a chance. If Gill goes out there and gives up game one, I doubt the Yankees win.
Well, got more breaking news. Max Fried is going game 2 Sunday.
They told you.
Okay. See, I just need to keep refreshing ESPN, and I'm getting all the pictures. Blake Snell is going for the Dodgers game 2 versus undecided
Oh,
with
I hope he gets lit up. I hope he gets lit up because he ain't pitched much this season. I hope he
he
gets lit
looked
up.
good against the Reds, though. I will say, I hate to say it and give the
But they
Dodgers credit,
oh.
but he looked good against the Reds. But it was the Reds, though. Just
Listen,
saying.
listen. The Yankees know a thing or two about bringing a starting pitcher in the postseason who was hurt for most of the season. So just don't do it, or he's going to get
It's
lit
it's
up, and you're going to lose the series. But then again, you know what? Don't learn from me. Make your own
let
mistakes
them
and get
loose.
yourself kicked
Yes,
out.
let them loose. Yes. So, so I will say having Max Fried game 2, but that's another 4 o'clock afternoon game. Max
Because
Fried
think
shine.
now you've got your top three because come game three, they're gonna throw Rodon out there because he'll be on 5 days of rest. And then after that, you're gonna get Schlittler right back. So if the games go to 5, you get Schlittler to decide the game like he did this past series.
Well,
Call it.
yeah. I'm not disagreeing, but I wish Max Fried was playing at nighttime because Max Fried is not a daytime pitcher. I'm just saying. The
He's
the
no,
daytime games, he likes the nighttime, he likes the lights, he likes the night sky of looking up, going, all right. When the sun's out, any freak could show up. I'm just saying. And I've
is
learned from
that
experience. I've learned from the experience.
so? Is that because okay, and maybe that's because his stuff is slower and breaks more. Perhaps it's easier to see during and I would almost expect it to be easier to be seen at night, but perhaps it's easier to see it during the day with all the light on it in the first place
Yeah. Ah,
because I don't know.
yeah. I really wish they'd give me Toronto's game two starter now, because this could open up me a whole nother debate. Like, I. But the problem is, here's the thing: did Fried pitch against Toronto this year?
Yeah, a couple
How did
different
he do?
times.
How did he do?
You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna ask the internet momentarily what Freed's record against uh Toronto is.
Hold on, I have it pulled up. Hold on. So he won one. He lost to Toronto once. Won against Toronto once.
So yeah, so Max Fried's career record against the Toronto Blue Jays is 4-1 with a 2.7 ERA and 7 appearances and 27 strikeouts in those matchups.
Yeah, and those were all this season.
Well, I mean, he had when does the Braves play Toronto? Y'all don't play Toronto very often.
Yeah, we play him like one time a year, but
Yeah. So he wouldn't have seen
and
them very often, but he's 4-1 on the Blue Jays. That's not bad.
yes, but that only loss. You know what it was though?
Probably the one that could have kept them from having the tiebreaker
Nope, in Toronto.
in Toronto. Mm, that could be interesting. Wouldn't it be bad? Wouldn't it be bad if back-to-back years in the postseason the ace doesn't do you any fucking good for the Yankees? That would really suck, but I could see it happening.
I'd be okay with it.
I would not, because that wouldn't mean very much for our aces going in next year.
Only say that because then I could tell you sometimes Max Fried's not going to be Max Fried, and you're just going to have to bite the bullet. So
Listen, I need Max Fried to channel his beginning of the season power and just shut him down.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and say it, even though my bracket already says it. I have Toronto beating y'all, but I think it's going to come down to Game 4, Game 5. I have Seattle winning. I think Seattle's going to win in 3
I don't
because
think
if they
Seattle
can,
sweeps.
well, and I only say that right now because I don't know which game Scooble's pitching. But if Scooble pitches Game 1, I say it goes to Game 4. Unless Scooble comes back out for Game 4, then it's going to Game 5. But I still have Seattle winning.
You
I
know
have the
what's funny
Cubbies.
is I could see them doing something like that with Scooble,
I'm in to
but
win.
then
I
you
would
would
do it.
torch him for championship series.
Yeah, but then you have enough other pitchers ready for Game 1 and Game 2.
Maybe,
Because, I mean, if I'm up against the Yankees and I'm Detroit, I can pitch anyone and know I'm winning.
maybe
So I have the Dodgers losing. Okay. Hope Philadelphia gets the broom out, sleeps it off, sends them back on a plane, and
that's gonna go to 5. They play too often against one another.
yeah. I've got the Cubbies, winning in 4.
I really
Even
hope
though
Milwaukee wins it in 5.
I have Milwaukee winning, something about Swanson and watching those plays this past couple days brought back the 2021 Atlanta Braves World Series. You know, just
It
saying,
was locked in.
to have a great shortstop will win you one of those, Ethan. I'm just saying. Okay. So in Swanson, I believe, okay? You know,
Let me know when you get 26 more of those.
it's okay. We beat the Dodgers to get there, okay? And then beat the Astros. Okay, something you
We
struggle
couldn't
in
do.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
listen,
So
the Astros aren't here this year. I don't have to worry about that.
No, 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 no. So, so, and you gotta hope Boone doesn't, mismanage, and then you're gonna be losing, and then you'll be like me.
Um, yeah, I just hope we keep Mark Leiter off the field and Devin Williams keeps pitching like he's got a brain, and that Freed and Rice, I get more fried rice, and we're good.
Well, before we end this one, I'm just gonna say it. You said when you have 20 what of those?
26 more of those.
Okay, question. When's the last time you won one lately? Okay, because
15 years ago.
okay, all right, 15 years ago. Okay, I just want to make sure. I felt like my watch over here didn't have anything relevant. 15 years ago. Yeah.
Still, it's the most in the league.
15
Even
years
if they
ago.
were from the 30s and the 1900s, I
Yeah,
don't
back
care.
when.
They still count.
I mean, they do, but we have one in this. We have one in this decade. Okay. Okay. So does Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman has two in this decade. Okay.
Yeah, with two different teams.
You know what's worse? One of those teams was against the Yankees. So, yeah. Yeah. Maybe y'all should have signed Freddie. Y'all need a first baseman. All right, sir. Well, that ends it for
Seal.
episode 45. I wish you luck tomorrow.
45? How old are we? We're
I
only
mean, 35,
35.
35, 35, 35. Listen,
Who's the
listen.
tired one here? I just got off work.
Well, listen, I've been doing a lot of research because, I'm going to rush through my daughter's game tomorrow so I can watch the Cubbies, take game one.
Well, Dylan and my son's game starts at 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna try to just watch the Yankees game afterwards.
Yeah. All right, sir. We will see y'all back for episode 36.
All right. Until next time.